All right, so these are my finds from today's record show up in Salem, New Hampshire. Was at the Elks in Salem. I guess it was the first show in probably 20 years, they said, in New Hampshire, at least in southern New Hampshire. So the room wasn't that big at all, and I got there. The show started at 10. It was $5 ticket at 10, but they had an early bird shoppers at 9 o'clock if you paid $10, which I wasn't going to do. So I got there, I got in about 5 minutes at 10, and it was already seemed to be pretty crowded. I was surprised at a lot of early birds, but probably because they haven't had a show in New Hampshire in ages, at least southern New Hampshire. So paid the 5 to get in at 10. It was, most of it was kind of crappy, just fighting to get in, space to get in and dig through stuff. And then in the rows in between, like sellers' tables, there wasn't a lot of room to maneuver. It did thin out a little bit. I was there for about a little over 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, 15 minutes. And it did thin out a little by then, but still it was pretty tough. Probably the best moment wasn't even anything I picked up. I was flipping through some bins. There's a husband and wife couple from Connecticut that deal at a lot. I knew probably like 6 or 7 of the dealers. I'd say like 10 or 11 of them from all the local shows here in Mass. And this couple from Connecticut, I was flipping through and I saw a copy of Tracy Chapman's first record for $65, and I laughed. It's a good record. I found one, I'm going to say maybe 7, 8 years ago at a town-wide yard sale in Andover for $1. And I had a coworker who's since retired. Her niece used to refurbish old furniture and just collect antiques and resell them on eBay. And yeah, it's probably like 7, 8 years ago in the summer. She texted me or called me one Saturday morning. I think I was folding laundry. She's like, I'm at this big town-wide yard sale in Andover in the Common, and I saw a few vendors with records. So I shot up there for a couple hours, bought some stuff, and there was one woman who just had a table of random antiques and stuff that she was selling, and on the ground she had one of those Rubbermaid bins, and it was maybe half full of records. So I said, how much are the records? She's like $1 each. So I got like an Elton Tumbleweed Connection, a second copy of that, which is one of my favorite albums. It's the name of my YouTube channel. A Phil Collins record, a Santana record, I think, and I grabbed Tracy Chapman's, and I'm like, I know Fast Car. That's the only song I knew on the record. But I'm like, all right, it's the first album. It was in mint condition. I'll take a shot for $1, and it's literally a great record. But I see it at shows now for like 30, 40, $50. So to see it for 65, it's like, wow, I got a steal when I found mine for $1. Anyway, I only picked up 10 records. I didn't go too nuts. I didn't get any steals, but I got deals on everything. No gems or anything to be found. Nothing I was particularly looking for, but got some good stuff. I'm just going to go by. I think I bought from 4 different sellers, so I'll go by. So the first seller I bought from, this is in early 70s. I think this is 73. Mystery to Me, Fleetwood Mac. This is pre-Stevie and Lindsay joining. I don't know a lot of this stuff from the pre-Stevie and Lindsay Fleetwood Mac, but this was in really nice condition. And I know the song Hypnotize. I love that song. I know it because it's on a Pointer Sisters album from the late 70s called Energy that they did. It's all cover songs. They did a cover of like Dirty Work by Steely Dan, Fire by Springsteen, and they did Hypnotize, a bunch of other stuff. I think it's all covers on that album. And I got that for $1 somewhere years ago. So I know that song. So I took a shot with that. I'm trying to get into a little more earlier Fleetwood Mac. So we had that listed for $12, and it's in pretty much mint condition. And then he had this Ray Charles for $3. You can see it there. It's an original. It's Spotlight on Ray Charles Volume 2. I'd never seen it. It's from 1962. But I listened to some on YouTube, and it's all like early to mid-50s stuff. So really before he got really big, I think. And I'm not really a big Ray Charles fan. I probably have like a couple of compilations and a few like random ones that I just found at shows cheap. But this is the mind of a record collector. This was $3. It's in mint condition. I would say mint. I mean, it's pretty clean. Near mint, at least. And it's an original from 1962, and it's Ray Charles. So 12 and 3 from this guy, so $15, and he gave it to me for 10. So it's like I got this $2 off this, and then this for free, or $4 off this and $1 off that one. You can't beat that. So I got those two from the first seller that I bought from. Move those over here. Then this guy, Jody, I know, that sells at all the shows I go to. he's always got really clean stuff, and his prices are reasonable, and he always works with this. So it's a nice copy of Alice Cooper Killer. It's not an original. This album came out in '71, and this one's a 1973 pressing. I looked it up, but it's really clean. Cover's a little flimsy, but so that was 16, and then I got another early Fleetwood Mac album. This is from '72, I believe. Bare Trees, 16. And so those two are 32, and he gave them to me both for 25. He had a Guns N' Roses double live album. I don't know when it came out recently. It was a show from Argentina in '93. He actually had two copies, and he had them priced at 75. And he said he'd do 60 for me, but I just couldn't justify it. I'm not a huge Guns N' Roses fan, so I couldn't justify it. I told him I'd come back around if I didn't find a lot of other stuff, but I didn't want to spend that much. Interestingly enough, when I was first flipping through his stuff, this seller, there was a couple next to me, husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, and they had 3 records, and they're asking him, like, what can you do on this? What's your best price? And I peeked over just to see what they were buying, because I'm nosy, and they had, one of the 3 was Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. So I looked down at where they were, like, standing, where the bins were, because this guy has, like, little labels for each of the artist sections, and I saw the Elton John section, and I spotted Tumbleweed Connection, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. And he had it listed for $12. It had a lyric booklet. So I said to the couple, I'm like, well, if you're going to buy Yellow Brick Road, you got to get that one too. And so the woman, pulled it out, looked at it, asked her boyfriend or husband if he knew any of the songs. I'm like, trust me, you got to get it. That's a good price. They ended up putting it back. I was like, too bad. I told the guy, I'm like, I tried to get the sale for you. But I want to be like, if you love Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, you'll love Tumbleweed Connection. So anybody out there, Elton fans, if you like any of his early stuff, like Goodbye Yellow Brick Road or Madman Across the Water, you got to get Tumbleweed Connection. I mean, it's the name of my YouTube channel, and it's his best album, I think, and one of my favorites of all time. Anyway, so I got those two priced for 32. I got them for 25. This next seller I grabbed 4 from. He had some good prices and some good stuff. I didn't think I was doing that great at the show. I was kind of discouraged and found some stuff here. Almost bought a couple more that he had, but picked up 4 from him. So this is just a Little Richard's Grooviest 17 Original Hits. Just a compilation, all his greatest stuff. Only $5, and it's really, really clean. I have a double LP that's all his like original greatest hits too, that I think has like 20 songs, and this is 17. So I think almost everything that's on here is on that one, maybe one song. But from what I remember, I've listened to that a couple times, and I love like his hits. It's really good stuff. But from what I remember listening to that a couple times, it's a little noisy, like a little static and just surface noise. So hopefully this sounds better. Basically I said all the same songs, but for $5, why not? And I'll tell you, I spent a lot with him, but I got a decent deal. This is the Best of Sam and Dave. He had this for $10. They're anybody that doesn't know, like an R&B soul duo from the 60s. I know Hold On, I'm Coming and Soul Man, like everybody knows that, those 2 songs. So I like soul. I don't listen to a ton of soul, but I do, like some Otis Redding, Wilson Pickett. I love Ike and Tina Turner. I collect as much Ike and Tina as I can find. I didn't find any at this show, but I thought this was a good pickup for 10. This I had never seen, and this was pretty cool. I'll show you. Dusty Springfield, a complete Atlantic single, 68-71. Double LP had it for 20, and it's got 24 songs, and they're all mono versions, which is really cool. And it's on, they call it Ruby Red vinyl, which is really cool. And I like that he kept the hype sticker. So 24 original mono singles, and it's a RSD, which is Record Store Day Black Friday, limited edition, limited to 3,000 copies, and I believe it came out in 2021. I do have a greatest hits compilation of hers from probably the mid-60s, but it doesn't have any of those songs on there, not on this. And I also have a reissue of Dusty in Memphis, which is a classic album of hers that she recorded in Memphis. Actually, there's a blurb about it in here, so it's got cool liner notes in here. And I'd say maybe 8 of the 11 songs from that are on this, but this has 24 songs, so there's a good amount on here that I don't have. I don't know a ton of her stuff. Everybody knows Son of a Preacher Man, but she's got a great voice. She's one of those people I could listen to her sing anything, especially her 60s stuff. But that's cool. That's on limited edition Record Store Day Black Friday release. Like I said, I think from 2021, and it's on that cool ruby red vinyl. It's almost like a translucent red, and got the hype sticker on there too. So that's cool. That was 20. And this is really cool. I'd never seen this before. I'm a George Thorogood. He's one of those musicians, like I have several of his records, but I often forget and I never listen to them. But this is live in Boston, 82, the complete concert. It's 4 LPs, and they're all in nice shape. There's like one little mark on the first one, and there's just some dust, but they're all in good shape. I looked at them all. And his stuff is really good. If you love blues rock, his stuff is really cool. And it's got a little liner notes on this. He recorded his early stuff on Rounder Records, which was actually out of Somerville, Mass. And I'm about 15 minutes north of there, so that's cool. So that was 30. This for 20. This for 10. This for 5. So originally my math was wrong because I added him up to 75. And I said, could you do 60? And he's like, yeah, I'll do 60. But I realized 30 and 20 and 10 and 5 is only 65. But so I got $5 off. So the way I look at it is like I paid full price for those two, 5 and 10. And that really, I got $5 off. Take your pick, whether you want $5 off this or $5 off that. I looked this up online first, and there's some going for like more than double that. And I think the cheapest clean one I saw on Discogs was like $45. So I would say this is like at least VG plus, if not near mint. Probably near mint on 3 of them, and maybe VG plus on 1. But 4 LPs, that should be a good listen. And then the last seller, that I bought anything from, he had a lot of sealed, newer stuff. And this, I had this on CD when it came out in 2003, and I used to listen to it all the time. Evanescence Fallen is just a great album. There's not a bad song on it. It was never issued on vinyl originally in 2003. So everything you see now are reissues. A lot of recent reissues from I think 2019 on. And, Walmart does a lot of their Walmart exclusive vinyl, a lot of colored vinyl they do. And this one is one of those, and it's on clear smoke vinyl, if you can see. So I'm going to cut that hype sticker off and keep it. This is sealed, though, anyway. But I'm going to obviously open it and keep the hype sticker. So that was a cool pickup. He only had 1 copy of this. He had multiple copies of a lot of the stuff he had. But every song on this album is so good. And I think this is 2023 if I looked it up online. So, but again, there's a bunch of different variants of this, but they're all reissues. They never issued this on vinyl, I don't think, when it originally came out in 03, because early 2000s people weren't putting out a lot of stuff on vinyl to begin with. So that was 20, and then he had a few copies of this. Picked up one he had for 30. This just came out last year, Fleetwood Mac Rumors Live, and it's basically it's a double LP. It's a live show from August 29th, 77, and all the songs except from one are from Rumors or the Fleetwood Mac White album, which is right before it. So basically the first 2 albums that Stevie and Lindsay were on. And it's just all one show. I don't think it's picking and choosing shows from the Rumors tour. It's all that one show. And I remember hearing about it when it was coming out, and then I just forgot about it. And I looked it up on Amazon. You get it for $25 plus shipping. He had it for 30. So 30 and 20, 50. I asked if he'd do 40. And he countered at 45. So basically take $5 off that. But those are 2 really good pickups. So all in all, I spent $140 on 10 records, but 2 of them are double LPs, and that George Thorogood Live one's 4 LPs. So that's really 15 records. So $140. It's a little less than $10 a record. So again, no gems, but solid stuff. It was just too crowded in there. I would have stayed a little longer, but I think in the 2 hours and 15 minutes, I was able to hit every seller and at least part of their tables. So all in all, some good finds. No gems, but good deals on everything. And I was happy to see stuff I looked up online was either at that price that people are selling it for at the show, or more expensive online. So no one was really price gouging stuff compared to what it's like on Discogs or Amazon. So that was good. And then we got a couple shows coming up in September. I think one or 2 in October and 1 in early November. So the shows will be starting up again. We'll have some more videos and good finds, hopefully.